Has anyone come on?
We got to. Good morning. Thank you everybody for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't really have an icebreaker today. Nikki, do you have one?
Sure, we can think of one real quick. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Where's the first place you want to travel to when travel restrictions are lifted?
That's a good one.
For me, I'll start. I have got to get to Jamaica. So there we go. It's the first place I'm going.
Well, for me, I was supposed to go on a cruise to like the island. Is it like St. Keys or something like that? That was one of the stops, but the other stops was Bahamas. So I definitely want to visit there. We have New Orleans. Oh, New Orleans is really nice. I spent the summer in Louisiana. The humidity, I don't know if I'll go back, but it is really nice. That humidity is like thick. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. After quarantine and all this stuff is over, I'm gonna have some friends in California I would like to visit. I've never been, so hopefully I can make it out there.
California's really good. Anybody else got a couple places? Come on, I know y'all been having some dream trips planned for years now. But we'll give it some more time so everybody else can join. But in the meantime, drop the places you want to go in the chat. Awesome places. But we'll start at like 12:05 just to give everybody a chance to come in. But in the meantime, let me share my screen so we all know why we're here. Make sure to drop your destination places, your dream destinations.
So for anyone that's just joining us, the icebreaker today has been, where's the first place you want to visit as soon as travel restrictions are lifted? I wanted to go to Jamaica. Byron's headed out to Cali. Where are you going, Beatrice?
I want to go on this cruise that got canceled, so to the Bahamas.
Oh, okay. So Beatrice going to the Bahamas. If anyone else wants to share, you can either share. Can you share? Can you guys share in the chat?
Yeah.
Or, okay, yeah, you guys can all share in the chat. Someone wants to go to the beach. Ooh. Denicia is going to Hawaii. Kind of jealous, sis. Kind of jealous. Luz is going to Virginia. Jeffrey said he's not going to Hawaii, or he changed his mind. He's not going to New Orleans. He's going to Hawaii with Denicia. Am I saying your name right? I'm sorry if I'm not. Someone wants to go to the Caribbean. Yeah, we'll fly together.
As in the Caribbean festival that's in Toronto, Canada, Denicia, when you say Caribana? Or anywhere.
Anywhere.
At this point, right. At this point, we just need to get out the house. But we can get started. So thank you guys so much for joining us for our part 2 of our Census Counts on social media webinar series. This webinar will be talking about how to manage social media. So we'll be providing a lot of tips and resources and things to keep in mind when posting on social media. I'm muted. Oh, I'm not muted. Can you hear me, Nakia?
No, we're fine. She's asking was she muted because she was talking.
I'm sorry.
Yes, everyone. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. Everyone's muted.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I thought it was me. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Nakia to get us started.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nakia, and I am, of course, with NC Counts Coalition. I am one of the community engagement coordinators. And today, or we hope that you joined us for our last social media webinar. In this social media webinar, we will be discussing ideas for original content, how to create your original content, social media calendars, best practices for IG and Facebook Live, and then we'll have a question and answer session. Go. Ideas for original content on Facebook. Sorry. Facebook content is about relating to your community. I'm sorry, your Facebook content should be very purposeful. Your nonprofit should first decide how they want to use Facebook, whether it's for fundraising, brand building, community engagement. What do you want to say or share, and what will your core messages be? These are things that you need to think of prior to going into your Facebook page. The goal is to humanize your nonprofit and build trust with your audience, create momentum, show that you care, and appreciate everyone interested in your work. So if you haven't done that before, now's a good time to start. So as far as your content dues, there's a 70-20-10 rule. 70% of what you share or what you post on Facebook should be original content. 20% should be shared content. So you're sharing, say, other nonprofits that you work with, or just something that you see that, you know, promotes your community. And then 10% should be promotional content. That is, again, you promoting yourself. So if you are a nonprofit that does do fundraising, your fundraising falls in this 10%. You want to make original videos, and I do suggest that you make videos that have subtitles, because not everybody listens to video with sound as they're just scrolling. The subtitles will gain their attention, and then they'll turn the sound on and watch your video. But it's actually just another way to engage people. You also have the option now of engaging your hard to hearing or your deaf participants that come to your page. Make social engagement a priority. That means respond to people who respond to your post or to, you know, comment on your post. That definitely means responding to your messages you receive privately. You can also look for relevant hashtags to find new conversations to join. So say you are, say you're hosting a food bank, and I live in Fayetteville, so all of my all of my anecdotes are going to be about Fayetteville. So if you're in Fayetteville hosting a food drive, what you can do is find hashtags that say, you know, Fayetteville or Fayetteville Strong, or here in Fayetteville, you know, we have Shop Local. So that type of stuff. You can look for hashtags, and then there you go. You have a place where you can start conversation and begin to promote yourself. And then finally, to boost or not to boost. Boosting is a form of Facebook advertising. Boosting is a form of Facebook advertising that makes it easy to put a little bit of money behind a Facebook post and help it show up more in news feeds. This is the simplest way to advertise on Facebook. You also have the option of creating a Facebook ad. Before you boost a post or create a generic Facebook ad, think about what you hope to accomplish. Running advertising campaigns without a goal or a plan is a waste of money. So you want to have this all planned out. Next slide, please. So whereas Facebook was very purposed, very focus driven content, Instagram is all about community. So it's okay to be a little bit more casual here. You want to show that your nonprofit has personality and that there's actual humans that work for your nonprofit. So you don't want to find yourself using government language, and you want to make sure that your posts are authentic and show your personality, but don't overthink it. Instagram has a couple different features that you can use to show this personality. You have the IG feed where you want to share your most important things. You have IG stories, which we'll discuss in further detail later. And then you have live experience, and we'll also discuss those later. Now you want to make sure with your with your Instagram, and even if you post pictures on Facebook, you want to make sure all the pictures you post are quality pictures with good lighting and clear images. Please don't post just to please don't post a picture just to post a picture. You want to make sure that this is a quality picture, and that goes across all the mediums that we're going to discuss today. So in terms of your captions, you want to make sure that your feed captions should not just describe the picture, but tell a story. Because this is a reflection of the personality of the company, there's no ideal length. And when I say personality of the company, not just are you making your nonprofit be more human, you can also go with your mission statement. So whatever your mission statement is, whatever voice that is, that's what you want to go with. That's what you want to convey. So hashtags and locations. Hashtags help you become more discoverable by subject. So you think hashtag nonprofit, or again, hashtag food drive. Using hashtags also becomes a metric you can research later. So later on, you can go to that hashtag food drive and see how many pictures come up, or you might find yours and see how many people actually went towards it. But we'll talk about metrics in our next webinar. Location helps your followers see more clearly what you're up to in the community and your connections with the community. So if it's a nonprofit, again in Fayetteville, if you're a nonprofit in Fayetteville, you don't want to just tag Fayetteville, tag where you are. Perhaps your location, you can create a location. So you can create your own location, like where you are specifically. So if it's 123 ABC Drive, you can put that on there. But then if you're, again, doing food drives, if your food drive is at the Department of Human Services, you want to tag, or you want to put location Department of Human Services. If it's at Fayetteville State, you want to put at Fayetteville State. You see where I'm going with this. So then again, back to videos. Videos help reach your audience in a different way. So it's not just the pictures, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more engaging. Be sure to keep your videos under a minute and choose a cool cover thumbnail. So I know you guys have all seen the videos where someone's walking up to the camera, or they put the camera down and walk away from it. That doesn't have to be the beginning of your video. You can actually choose a thumbnail that's later on. And say you're doing a video about your dog came to the food drive with you. I'm going to stick with one example. So your dog came to the food drive with you. Your thumbnail can actually be you having your dog's leash, and then the rest of the video plays. If you need to walk away from the camera in the video, whatever, but you can pick a thumbnail. But it's good to keep your videos under a minute. Just again, for engagement and people's attention spans. You can post longer videos. You just now need IGTV, and that's a whole nother app, a whole nother platform, and I think we talk about that a little bit later. Social media challenges. Challenges are just a method of engagement. This helps you gain new followers and may keep people coming back to your page. A nonprofit can ask followers to repost images using a brand hashtag. So take, for example, if your nonprofit has a mascot, again, the dog, you can ask your followers to repost your dog and make sure that you hashtag. Now, hashtags, you may want to come up with something authentic to your nonprofit or your brand. Take, for example, NC Counts. We have I Count NC. That's our brand's hashtag. So anything that we post now has I Count NC on it. That's our hashtag. And so we may hashtag other things like, again, the place where we're holding an event or the concept behind the event, say food drive, but we always hashtag I Count NC. So what we could do if we had a mascot, we don't, but if we had a mascot, we could post our mascot, have our followers repost it, and then make sure everyone uses hashtag ICountNC. Ask questions of your followers. Another way to engage followers is to ask questions like, what can your nonprofit do for the community, do more for the community, or do more in your lane? You can ask questions like that. And then posting questions is going to require you to respond because we want to engage. Make sure that you respond to the positive comments. Feel free to ignore the negative ones. You can even block them. And including and crediting others. Do you work closely or collaborate with another organization, either on a project or often? Tag or mention them. This will increase your generated content, and give the other person an appropriate shout out. So, I don't know that everyone knows this, but I'm going to put myself out there. I'm a yoga instructor. So say I did something that was specific to NC Counts. What I would do on my Instagram page is I would shout them out. I would tag them or credit them when they're doing something. So then not only is it bringing people to my page, it's going to actually bring people to NC Counts page because we're now sharing followers. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, great. Next slide, please. Finally, Twitter. So Instagram was about community. Facebook was about purpose-driven content. Now your Twitter content is about the conversation. Twitter creates a platform for ongoing and authentic conversation with your supporters and donors. It's a great platform for establishing your expertise and your position as a leader in your area of work. So your content dues. You do want to share relevant content that adds value. You want to be careful with your words. Once they're out there, they're out there. You also only get 280 characters. So be careful with your words. You want to use complete sentences. And again, because it's a conversation, this is also another place where you don't want to get into too many government language. So, not a whole lot of the acronyms and stuff like that. Hashtags. We've come up with 1 to 3 is good for me. You want to keep your hashtags limited on Twitter, or else it just looks too gimmicky. We had a question. Someone raised a hand. No? Okay, it went away. Retweeting. Don't be afraid to ask for your tweet to be retweeted. Feel free to ask your followers, hey, retweet this. And then feel free to retweet yourself from trusted individuals that either you yourself interact with, like your nonprofit, or I don't know, MLK is a good one, retweeting his quotes or something like that, feel free to retweet. Curate and share content created by others. Many nonprofits shy away from this strategic tactic, but the truth is very few nonprofits can create enough high quality content fast enough to be able to tweet exclusively their own content. Ideally, you want to be tweeting at least twice daily to gain traction on Twitter. And if that just sounds like too much, this is where sharing content by other people makes you more relevant. And then, of course, you want to do your engagement, find your voice, stay human, experiment and see what works for you. And then finally, interact with your followers. Live chats, live tweeting sessions, account takeovers, personal thank yous, Twitter storms, those type of things. You want to be constantly interacting.
Okay, thank you so much, Nakia, for your insights on every app's purpose. But for how to create your original content, there's a lot of sites and resources that you can use when it comes to creating things to post on social media. But my top three, and not 4 or 5, my first one would be Canva. That's my top one. I love Canva. Only reason why I love it so much is because it automatically gives you great templates and puts your graphics in the dimensions that will be best for the specific app you're looking for. So for Facebook, for example, it'll show you Facebook posts and it'll already shape out your graphic to to be placed on Facebook so everybody can see well. It does the same for Instagram. It does the same for Twitter. Sometimes if you post a Facebook graphic on Instagram, Instagram will cut the sides out, cut part of it off, and we don't want that. We want it to flush easy on the page and easy for people to see, and you want to create a feed that people would see as soon as they come to your profile page. Post on my wall, that's number 2 for me, only because what I like about Post on my wall is that if we have a specific event going on, so I'm gonna use Zumba for example, I can type in Zumba flyers and it give me a template that has Zumba colors, the font that they use for Zumba up there, maybe people that's doing Zumba in there as well. Yes, we can say that Canva does the same, but not to where I can type in Zumba flyer in Canva and that'll come up. That won't come up. You can only type in things like, a postcard design or a logo design or anything like that, but you can't type in specific events for it to give you inspiration as to how to create your graphic. So in Post on my wall, you can type in things like Zumba and it'll give you a template that you literally just change your date, time, place out, and you can, use that and put that on social media. The last one is Venage. I really like this one only because it creates great infographics. It also shows you like where and what to post on your infographics that people would pay attention to. So it guides you a lot more when it comes to sharing information about your nonprofit. So this is more of the governmental type of tool. I would say it's more professional than the other two. Canva is pretty casual. Post on my wall is like easy, but Venage is definitely, for your company's information. It's not something a regular social media influencer, content creator would use. Its purpose is legitimately only for nonprofits and companies. But all 3 of those are great. And Post on my wall, I believe it has a paid plan, but most of everything on there is free. Like I can't imagine what you would search for and then make you pay for it, because I've never came across something I had to pay for on Post on my wall. Canva, there is a free profile and there is a paid one as well. I do use the paid one, but the free one can definitely do what you need for it to do. Venage I would definitely suggest to pay for the premium account, only because you're only going to get the most out of it by getting the paid subscription. It doesn't really offer you a lot for the free one. But those are my top 3. Now for social media calendars, there's various sites, more than the 4 that you see on the screen, to help you post your tweets, your pictures, your statuses on Facebook. But these are the ones that I've used in the past, and honestly were the best ones that out of the ones that I saw. Hootsuite, I do like Hootsuite because you can also boost your Facebook posts through Hootsuite. So at the same time of paying for a premium account, it gives you a budget in addition with your premium account. So I believe the premium account is like about $30 a month, but it also gives you a $500 Facebook ad account that allows you to boost your post and, you know, promote it on people's Facebook feeds that matches the demographic you're trying to reach. So when you get into Facebook and you're trying to boost a post, you can select as to who you're trying to target. So like 18 to 35 that lives in this community that does this specifically, and it'll show that ad on their Facebook feed, and Hootsuite gives you a budget, well, maybe an allowance. We could use that instead to boost your Facebook posts. So that's why I really like them. I like Plannable mostly because of Twitter and not for Facebook or Instagram, because for Facebook and Instagram, in order to post on those apps, it makes you go through another, maybe a proxy. It's not them specifically, although we're still in their site when we're posting to those apps. It makes you go through a lot of avenues in order to post, but it is great for Twitter because, again, you can just post your picture up there. It'll tell you when your character limit is too much and hit tweet and it's good to go. Facebook, if you have a Facebook page, Facebook gives you the capabilities of having a social media calendar for free. So I can show you guys really quickly. So this is the NC Counts coalition page from the back end. And when you come into this page, if you look on the side right here, you will see publishing tools. So once you click there, it's loading. Of course, it takes forever to load when I need it to load. Refresh it. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. So once you click your publishing tools, you come into this calendar type of thing here. So as you can see, these are all the posts that we posted before in the past, and it'll show us on the right-hand side how many people has it reached, engagement, reactions, comments. And in our next webinar, we're going to talk about how to measure your impact. So we are going to get into specifics in that webinar, but here it'll show you like who the posts have reached. But in this case, for posting future posts, the social media manager, we can click schedule post on the left right here, and then at the top, create a post. And you can type in whatever you need to type in the status, add a picture. So I'm gonna just put hey, just so you can see. Once you click schedule post, you can select your date and time. So we can select it for tomorrow at 12:39 and leave that there for it to be posted at that time. You can post it for whatever time you want. You can post it years ahead. It'll go out to 2021. Whatever date or time you need, you can select it, have a calendar set up, and it do it for you. So without you having to come back and post again at that time. So Facebook offers you that. Now, Social Bakers is my favorite one out of the bunch, only because since COVID-19 has happened, they have provided an 6-month free trial for non-government organizations. So everybody on this call will be eligible to get this 6-month free trial from them. If you visit their site, there will be an email. Where in the site specifically, I don't truly remember, but you can pull up the ad by searching their site. So if you type in 6-month free trial for NGOs, it'll come up, but I'll be sure to provide it in the materials after that goes out to all the attendants. So you'll have that information there. But I love Social Bakers because I don't need to go through another, app or application or proxy to post on Instagram or Facebook. I can just post my picture, post my caption, it'll go. The same for Twitter. The only thing I may disagree with is that for Instagram, on Instagram, you can post more than one picture. Social Bakers does not allow me to put more than one picture on there for Instagram. I'm not too sure if that's something they have to add or set up soon. Hopefully that's something they do soon, because especially with COVID, everybody is now on social media. Digital outreach is truly a thing now. So hopefully that's something they add soon. I gave them my feedback. Maybe they may listen to me. I don't know. But I love social bakers because I don't have to do too much. I can just add, post, and it'll go, and I can plan it out years ahead, months ahead, days ahead, weeks ahead. So yeah, so those are my top 4 for the social media calendars. Another social media calendar you can use if you don't wish to use any of those apps at all is something that HubSpot has provided. So they're a social media based organization. That's their main focus, just trying to better organize people on their social media, how to manage it, things like that. So they provided a user guide with their Excel sheet that they've created for people to use to organize their posts. In this user guide, they talk about how to organize your pictures and hyperlink it to your Excel post. And when your date or time comes for you to post, you can simply click it. It'll provide you the picture you're supposed to use, and you can use that information and go to social media. So it does not do it for you, unfortunately. But if you have a designated person for social media or somebody that just needs to organize social media for themselves, you can schedule everything out on that Excel sheet and maybe set a timer for yourself, set a reminder, put it on your calendar for you to go visit that Excel sheet, and you click, you have your information, and then you go post on that app. If anybody wants, I guess, a walkthrough on how to use it, definitely let me know. We can maybe set up another webinar on how to use that specifically, but I'm not going to get into it too much because it is pretty long. That would be something that it needs its own maybe 30 minutes for, but that's also a great thing to have, and I will be sure to include this in the email that goes out after this webinar. And so finally, when to post on social media. So since COVID-19, a lot of this information might not be current because, you know, everybody is coming from being inside to now going back outside. And, you know, some people still work from home, some people still don't. So that truly is a big, it leaves us in question as to when people actually get on social media. But based on research, this is what I've been able to find. So I can tell you guys, the best time to post on social media are different with every social media network, and especially the type of audience you're trying to reach. For Facebook and Twitter, they see a high engagement at 9 a.m. And honestly, I agree, because when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do check is my Facebook and Twitter. And I don't really check Instagram until about noon, because for my followers and people that I'm following, they don't really get up and post until about noon. So I don't check it until then. But it says here, on average, the best time to post across industries is 9 a.m. And that's 9 a.m. in your time zone. So if you're trying to reach people in your time zone, like in your, so we're in Eastern, so about the East Coast, you're trying to reach people during, the best time to post is 9 a.m. Now, if you're trying to reach like California, you want to make sure you meet their 9 a.m. But our focus is North Carolina, so we're just going to stick to 9 a.m. The best days to post are Thursday and Sunday. Can I give specifics as to why? No, unfortunately, but HubSpot is where I got this information from. And if you visit their site, they will give you way more information in detail as to why these times are better. But that's just their metrics, and that's what they've just been able to find. For Instagram, on average, the best times to post across industries is between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And like I said before, I agree, because the people that I'm following aren't posting until about noon or 1 p.m. So that's when I finally open Instagram to see all the new posts and everybody updating their feed. But the best day to post is on Friday. Honestly, this is just my guess. There's no information proving as to why the best day to post. But for me, I know if I'm finding plans for the weekend, I'm on Instagram the most to figure out what's going on for the weekend in my area. So I'll like hashtag RDU and hashtag other activities that I usually do to see what people might be doing for the weekend. But that's just for me. I can't really explain why for everybody else that Friday is the best time to post, but yeah. So Twitter, the good time to post is like between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Again, because that's the first thing I check in the morning to see who has mentioned me, who has retweeted me, who, if I quoted or replied to someone, have they replied back to me? And then 6 and 9 p.m. So Twitter is usually something I check in the beginning of the day and then at the end of the day. So those are the best times to post. And if your goal is to maximize retweets and click-throughs, aim for around noon or 5 or 6 p.m. because during lunch hours or right after work, people aren't really tweeting on Twitter, but just simply retweeting. So you don't have to say anything specific. Maybe retweet some of your own tweets that you already posted for people to see on their feed as they're refreshing and making their way home or eating their lunch. But that's all from me and when to post and how to post. And I'm gonna turn it over to Byron.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Byron, the Wake County Community Engagement Coordinator with NC Counts. And I'll be going over Facebook Live best practices as well as IG Live or Instagram Live best practices as well. So yeah, some of the information is kind of a repeat from what they have shared, but it just comes from the live standpoint. So yeah, so the first one is plan your broadcast. So pretty much what the recommendation is that when you go live, you don't necessarily have to have a full out agenda, but you may want to have some talking points as well as just kind of know the purpose of your live. One of the things about Facebook Live is that it is really unpredictable. You never know who might join. You never know what comment might kind of be made. So if you have those talking points already in place, then if you do lose your spot or you kind of lose track or kind of see yourself kind of going into a deep conversation based off of comments, you can come right back to your points that you were trying to, that you just wanted to discuss and back to your main purpose of your Facebook Live. So that's what they mean when they say plan your broadcast, as well as Facebook prioritizes videos that are 3 minutes and longer. So just make sure that you kind of have some time or that you've planned your live to be a certain amount of time so that the algorithms that are used, it will, show up on as many people Facebook feeds as possible. The next one is be yourself. So pretty much one of the advantages of Facebook is that it is a little bit less formal compared to a Zoom or a Google Meet or something like that. So for instance, if NC Counts puts a video out on our social media, most people will expect for it to be polished, clean, that kind of thing. Whereas on your Facebook Live, you can kind of be a little bit more relaxed and be yourself and engage with people more on a personal level, which, just has a better feedback and allows people to feel a little bit more connected to you and the cause of your organization's mission. A lot of things are based on relationships. So some of you all may be actually on this Zoom because of a professional relationship you have with somebody in the organization. So because of that working relationship and them being themselves, you are invested in the cause and the work. So it does make a difference just, letting your personality shine, being yourself, and actually try to have a little bit of fun with it as well. So the next one is notify your followers in advance. So with that, you can just pretty much let people know like, hey, I'm going live at 5 o'clock today, and kind of just give them a quick, brief of what you might be going live about, encourage them to tap in with you or to join your live. And just to try to build that momentum up so that as many people can share the information that you have in regards to you going live, as well as afterwards. It may be somebody who knew you were going live, but aren't able to catch it because of a time or a schedule conflict, but they knew, so they'll know that they can come back and check for it once your live is posted on your social media afterwards. Another big one is check your internet connection. Not too sure if many of you have seen some of the IG Live versus battles, but some of the biggest things have been a lot of the artists have bad internet connections. So they'll be talking and they'll be trying to play their song, and then all of a sudden somebody's fuzzy or you can't hear what they're saying, and then they're just disconnected altogether. So so with that, you just want to make sure you have the right equipment and that your internet connection is strong. Also, in regards to equipment, if you're going live on your phone, you may want to get invest in like a tripod. You can get those like Five or Below or TJ Maxx, Ross, just any kind of store, pretty much in the impulse buy section when you're headed towards the register. It's one of those things that you can kind of just pick up for a few bucks, but it will definitely help you in regards to going live, just because you won't have to constantly worry about moving your phone or your phone moving while you're moving around, that kind of thing, as well as just with Facebook, going live on Facebook, they do have an only me option, which allows you to check your camera and your lighting and your sound before going live, just to kind of have some of those things in place. And so that that, my connection's strong, I look good, the lighting's great, my sound works, so that, you won't have those kind of troubles when you're actually doing your actual live. Next, we have write a compelling description for your video. So with Facebook Live, you are able to post your live to your actual news feed as a standalone post. So I'm going live. After that, I can post it to my page, and from there, I can add a description in regards to what my live is about. So today's live is best practices for social media. So I would just wanted to make sure that I have a compelling description that kind of lets people know what's taking place during the live, as well as something that I do enjoy when I look at different videos on YouTube is time marks. So they'll kind of break down the entire live into segments. So you'll know at the 3-minute mark, this is what's being discussed. At the 5-minute mark, this is what they're talking about, kind of thing. And what that does is kind of just allow somebody to, if there's a certain part of the live or a certain topic they knew you were talking about, and they want to really just engage in that portion, they can, fast forward or just find the time mark in the live so that they can get the information that they were most interested in. And that description definitely helps when you just want people to, follow up and engage after the live is over and completed. As well as depending on what your live is about, in your description, you can also tell a story as well that can, just capture people's attention and just try to get them to engage more based off of that. Next, we have tag other people and your location. So I know Nakia had mentioned earlier in regards to hashtags. This is something similar, but more so, you may want to tag your partners or partner organizations in a video that you're going live, as well as your location. I know Nakia had mentioned Fayetteville Strong, so it could be something where we're doing something. I could be promoting. We actually have an event we're helping do on Monday, a food drive. So I would want to make sure that while I'm going live that I mentioned that this food drive is taking place in Raleigh, and that to tag Raleigh, and if I'm able to tag a specific location or store or address or whatever the case may be, to tag that so that people do know or have the information so that they can directly go to that source, as well as it kind of makes it a little bit more personal too. So if I see somebody's going live and they put the location, oh man, they're right down the street, I can follow up and figure out, what that resource is or what's going on there, that location, or just understand that how close this person is to me, or as well as how far somebody may be and what work they're doing wherever they're at, and how you all may still be able to connect, even though you all are maybe miles away. There are some similarities there. So maybe somebody's doing some great work in Michigan around the census, or in New Mexico, or something like that. So at that point, I kind of know that, okay, there's an organization in this state or in this area doing work. I may want to reach out to them to see, what some of the pros and cons are, or how we could possibly collaborate, even though we're far apart. Next is, remember, people might join partway through. So as I mentioned earlier, Facebook prioritizes videos that are 3 minutes or longer. So the longer you are on live, that means that the chances that more people may join in on your 7-minute mark or your 13-minute mark. At that point or throughout your live, you just want to kind of make sure that you're kind of reintroducing your topic, and just constantly welcoming people as they come in. Hey guys, for those who are just joining, this is what we're discussing today. If I can catch you up real quick, this is some of the things that we've mentioned so far. If you missed something or you're just joining, I want to make sure that we kind of go back or hang tight and we'll kind of catch you guys up to speed, things like that. So I know a lot of time when I go into a live, somebody's talking. If I can't catch a phrase or a piece of the conversation where I understand what's going on, I'm out of there. So it's just really important that you continue to welcome your audience and just welcome them, throughout the live, just to keep them engaged. Speaking of engagement, the next one is engage your audience or engage with your audience. So the cool thing about live on Facebook is that you do have the option of letting your audience and those joining the live, they can post comments. They can do the little heart with all the different colors to say they love something, all that kind of stuff. So what's recommended is that, let's say I'm going live right now, I'm talking to you all, we're having a great conversation, and the comments are going crazy. There's no way I can still just be natural and talk to you all and pay attention to those comments. So the recommendation is that you have somebody with you or close by, or maybe on the back end where they're kind of letting you know that, hey, somebody made this comment, or somebody in the comment has this question, and from there you can address it and still keep the natural flow of your live going. Next is reuse your work. So I went live, I posted a video to the Facebook page afterwards. From there, I might take a portion of that video and make it its own separate post, and then just refer back to, for more information, go back to the live. So for example, we could possibly take something right now from this webinar, use it as a post, and then we would recommend you all, so if you want more information on best practices for social media, please follow up or go check out the webinar for this example. But on Facebook Live, we pretty much just say, go check out the Facebook Live that was posted on this date on our page, that kind of thing. And then finally, just go live on a regular basis. There are different social media influencers that you already know come Thursday at 2 o'clock. That's their time. You look forward to it, and you know when to expect them. One of the things that's recommended too is that you just constantly ask your viewers and audience to turn on notifications or turn on live notifications, so that when you go live, their phone will do a little buzz or make a nice little cool sound, and they're like, hey, NC Council is going live. What do they have going on? Let me check out real quick. And even if they don't attend the live at that point, it's like, I'm busy right now. I know they went live. I can come back and check later once they post it to their Facebook page. So those are just a few of the best practices for Facebook Live. Now we're going to shift gears and cover some of the Instagram information. So Facebook does own Instagram now. So you are able to go live on both. However, you can go live on both, but separately. So even though I can post something on my Instagram and it'll post to my Facebook page, or vice versa, at this time, they don't have the capability for you to be live on both social media accounts. So in the ideal world, I go live on Facebook, I can pop up and go live on IG and engage both audiences on both platforms. That does not exist yet. So I'm sure we get a lot of updates all the time. COVID has definitely changed the landscape of things in the virtual realm. So I can imagine that they are probably trying to figure out how to make that happen with an update, probably coming soon, I would imagine. But these are just some best practices for Instagram Live. So the first one is keep the setup casual. So similar now to, I guess you can say, my background. I have my laptop set up. It's a wall that a friend of ours did. He's a graffiti artist, but it's, when they say keep the setup casual, they just mean like, you don't necessarily want to be walking down the street, trying to go live and really trying to give some great content or just strong information. It becomes a distraction. If I'm walking downtown, you're going to hear sirens, you're going to hear car horns, you're going to hear tires, you're going to hear all types of things. So just keeping the setup, casual as possible with as few distractions as possible too while you're going live. Sound can interrupt, or if you see something now, instead of talking to the audience, you're talking and you're looking in a whole another direction, or you're trying to do something, so just keeping the setup as casual as possible. Next is just make it conversational. So just continue to engage the audience, and that's just, answer those questions as they flow into the conversation, or just keep in mind that somebody made this comment, that was a good point. I'm gonna come back to that to include them in the conversation. I know sometimes when I go live, or not when I go live, but I've been on live and you actually want to engage with the person going live and they never see your comment, or there's nobody else in the room even looking at comments. So it's like, you're not talking with this person. At that point, that person's talking at you or just giving you information, or you're trying to just listening to what they have to say. It becomes a one-way street there. And I think that with going live, it's to really, just kind of build that gap in regards to talking to people long distance in a natural flowing way with the technology that we have. In regards to give context, that goes back to the point I made about the Facebook Live in regards to people just coming in the middle of the live. So constantly, if you have a guest, just mention your guest's name naturally. Just mention, their name naturally in the conversation. Maybe repeat part of the question that you may have asked them, so that you're still able to keep talking and keep the natural flow. But as people come in, they are they kind of know what you're talking about as well. And then once again, promote your live ahead of time. I'm going live today at 6 o'clock. I'll be talking about the best new movies of 2020. Check in with me to see if your favorite made the list, 5 o'clock. And as it gets closer, just continue to do that. So that's the best practices. Next, we're going to go into kind of like just the quick tips and just reminders of just some helpful stuff. Some of these are repeats because they just apply to both Facebook and Instagram. So you want to, on IG, turn on comment moderation in your settings. So with IG as well as Facebook, you can control if people can comment or not while you're on live. So if there's something where truthfully you just want to rant, and this is more so for a personal Facebook or social media account, we just want to get some stuff off your chest, of course you can turn off those comments. If it's something where you actually want to engage in the audience, you want to turn those on so that they can, put questions in or comments, as well as, little hearts for liking as well. Once again, just make sure your battery is charged, your Wi-Fi is strong. The last thing you want is to really be in the middle of a great conversation with some people and your phone goes off and it's black and you're scrambling trying to figure out how do I get back on, or any of that kind of stuff. Your Wi-Fi strong and all of a sudden you don't have no signal at all and you're just, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? That's constantly what you're doing because your Wi-Fi is messed up, or you're shaking your phone because your face is froze, but you're just trying to figure out what's going on. So just make sure those things are in place ahead of time. One of the suggestions they have up here is planning to pin a comment. So pretty much, let's say I just want a constant reminder of what the topic is. I can go ahead and write that out, copy it, paste it, and when I go live, I can just pin it onto the live on IG so that it's already there. So once again, I'll use the example of best movies of 2020. I could post that or pin that into the live so that when people come in, they're like, oh, okay, best movies of 2020, this is what we're kind of talking about, or it kind of, just continues to let people know as they come in what's going on. You can disable comments if you don't, necessarily want to engage with people at the time. So that option is there. And that was pretty much it in regards to, the best practices and quick tips. Next, we're going to actually walk you through how to start your Instagram live. So this is a resource we found online, and just pretty much this is what most people Instagram looks like right now. They do have a new feature where you have the black mode. So on the left side of the screen where you see the Instagram with the arrow to the circle in the corner, your screen might be black because you changed your settings. No big deal. Everything is still in the same place. So to start live, you can actually click on your profile picture in the top left corner of your Instagram profile. From there are different options that'll show up, which is the second picture. You can scroll to the live button on the screen. You tap the live, and it will pretty much prompt you, letting you know that you are about to go live. And from there, you can actually mash the button, and you will start going live at that time. The last screen on the far right pretty much is what I was mentioning about pinning comments. So if I wanted to say just to keep that topic on the Instagram live as people come in, that pretty much shows you how to do that. I want to say you might also be able to go live as well as just hitting if you're about to like make an actual post on IG in the middle, and you just click on the add sign. I think it has a live option there where you can go live as well from that. So that's how you start your live or your Instagram live. So these are just some additional features that Instagram has. So with Instagram, I'm able to go live with another person. So you're able to add somebody to your live, and then from there, you all can talk and engage with each other as well as the audience. One of the things about going live with somebody else is that everything on your checklist, you want to make sure that's on their checklist. So when it comes to having the casual setup, the Wi-Fi connection, the battery, so instead of that just being a list instead of that just being on your list now, want to make sure that's on the other person's list that you're inviting to your live as well. For the other two, for the Q&A and the media sharing, I don't have much experience with those features. I know they're there, but I haven't actually seen them used in an actual live that I've joined. And I have seen some people do some cool stuff with their IG's accounts, and I'm just not there yet. I'm all right when it comes to social media, but there's some people who can take it to the next level and can do some really cool things. So if that's something you're interested in, we're definitely going to share all this information, all the sources, so you can definitely dig a little deeper into that if that's something that you're interested in regards to some of the advanced features of Instagram Live. And as I mentioned before, with Facebook, you're able to share your live after you finish going live. So pretty much you have that same option here with Instagram. So tap download video to save to your live broadcast or to your camera roll. So I can save it to the account on Instagram, and it'll post like in your story, and you can save it to your camera roll. So at that point, I can save it to my camera roll, I can go to my live, and I can chop it up, and I can edit how I want to. So like we mentioned earlier in regards to reusing your work, you have that option here with Instagram where you can go back and, let's say I want to take a screenshot of a certain part of the live I did on IG, I can do that. Or if I want to make a certain part of the live, a short video about something, I can do that as well. And just kind of walk you through those steps. I actually was doing something the other day where I had a Zoom call, and I had also went live from a social media account. And with IG or Instagram, your live is only for an hour unless you have a verified account. At that point, your time limit is increased by a lot. But for your average user, average profiles, you get an hour time limit. So after an hour is up, the option will then come up, would you like to, download, save to your camera roll? So while I was actually doing the Zoom and the IG live, I missed that opportunity. So the entire live was lost. So that's why having another person there or extra set of hands can definitely be beneficial so that you don't lose great content and great work and great conversation and engaging with people and, just your audience. So just be mindful of those kind of things in regards to time limit, just to kind of check your live when you get close to that 58-minute mark that, you're kind of in a place where you're good to stop and you can engage the audience and say, hey, the conversation's still going. It's going to cut off, but just tap right back in and I'll be right back in a minute or so. So I'm just kind of keeping those things in mind. And that's pretty much it for the sharing and saving of the Instagram Live. And that's my part. So any questions for us overall, feel free to, place those in the chat at this time, and we'll do our best to answer. We will be sharing all resources with you all. So if there's something that you saw that you're interested in, and we may have just briefly went over it, you'll have the resources and links so that you can kind of deeper dive. So yeah.
Anybody have any questions at all? Thank you so much, Brian and Nakia.
Thank you, Beatrice. We want to be respectful of anyone's time. I'm sorry, of everyone's time, and it is now 1 o'clock. So if you have to go but have a question, feel free to reach out to any of us at NC Counts. You can hit us up on our webpage, or if you have any of our email addresses, please feel free to reach out and we will get back to you and answer any of those questions. Other than that, we want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you at our third webinar, which is June 11th. June 11th.
Yes. At noon. And you can register at bit.ly/social media part 3. And promise that one will not be as long as this one, but we will be talking about like measuring your impact. So how to determine how many people seen your post and was interactive with it, and all the fun stuff that comes with that. But if there's not any questions at all.
Byron had something.
Oh.
And real quick before we leave, please check our social media accounts and our social media calendars on our website, because there are a lot of events coming up across the state that we are promoting. There's different parades, food drives, just different things in regards to census engagement taking place in different counties. And we're just doing our best to make sure that we are sharing that information. So if there's something that you are doing as a partner, please send us the information so that we can add it to the calendar and share with other partners as well, just so we can, continue to do the work and continue to support other organizations that are doing the work as well. And thank you all for your time once again.
We are here for you. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up. You guys have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Bye, guys.